A big question on every first-time traveler's mind is, how do I stay safe when I'm traveling? I hear all these stories about bags being stolen and pickpocketing. How can I keep myself safe? If that's you, then stay tuned because I'm going to give you safety tips while traveling abroad right after this. And welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and dive right into those safety tips while traveling abroad. Tip number 1, be smart with your money. When you're traveling abroad, make sure that you have a diversity of payment. What do I mean by that? Make sure you take at least 2 different cards, a credit card with a chip and a debit card. Also take with you some type of mobile payment and also cash. Go online or call your credit card or your debit card company and let them know the dates that you're traveling and the areas that you're traveling to so your card doesn't get frozen when you try to use it overseas. What's safe about using a credit card is if that card gets lost or stolen, you can call and it'll immediately be frozen, those transactions will be canceled, and you could potentially get your money back that was stolen. That is a huge plus. When you carry cash, only carry smaller quantities with you, leave the rest in a hotel safe or some type of secured location. Another great money tip is make sure you consolidate to a smaller wallet. This is my usual wallet. See, you don't need this big thing with all these cards. All you need is this, and this is my wallet when I travel. And don't forget to put your small wallet or your cash in your front pockets, not your back pockets, because back pockets are easy targets for pickpocketers. And my final money tip, know where the nearest Western Union or money transfer location is so your friends and family at home can transfer money to you in the event of an emergency. My next tip is about situational awareness. Know where you are and know who's around you at all times, but be smooth about it. Don't be that person who's like frantically looking around, clutching their bags, making sure that nobody is going to attack them. Don't be that person. Just casually browse around. Maybe put your earphones in, even if you don't have music playing. Just notice if there's anything off or anything different about the location that you're going to. Next, do not bring more than you can physically carry. Pack light, pack tight, and consider locks. The more luggage you have, the more likely you could be a potential target for any type of pickpocketing or thieves. If you're trying to juggle 50 large bags and stuff is falling everywhere, guess what? You cause a scene, you bring attention to yourself, and you don't want to do that. I try to keep all of my clothes and supplies in the smallest luggage possible to make sure A, I can physically carry it upstairs, and B, that it's secure. Also consider putting locks on your luggage as well as your travel bag. I travel with a little crossbody leather bag. It doesn't have any logos on it. It's really super small, and guess what? I can fit everything I need in this little bag. And as you can see, there's also a lock that's attached with a key that's right on my bag. So as I'm traveling, I take my bag and I lock it. It goes across my body to the front, and my hand is on it at all times. If you have cash or currency in your pocket, make sure your hands are in your pockets so that nobody else can get them. My next travel safety tip is to prepare your phone for international travel. Call your local carrier to make sure that you have international calling as well as international data enabled. Some carriers actually have special temporary international plans that you can put on your phone where it's really easy to do, and they might charge a flat rate a day for your same data coverage. Also consider using a SIM card when you're going overseas so you can still get that data, maybe at a cheaper price. And also mobile payments come in handy. If your cards are stolen, guess what? Apple or Android Pay is still on your phone. Make sure your phone is password protected and locked and secured, and that you're not going on any public Wi-Fi that you are not familiar with. If you go to your hotel or your hostel and you ask for that specific Wi-Fi password, that's all right, but don't just join any random free Wi-Fi password because it may not be what it seems. And know that your phone is one of your biggest assets when traveling overseas, so protect it. My 5th tip is to stay into the light. Try to walk in well-lit areas under street lamps or next to stores with illuminated displays or lights that project out if you have to walk anywhere at night. This is especially helpful for solo female travelers. Another great tip is to also travel in groups, whether you're part of a tour or you're going with friends. You all know the rule. If you come as a group, you leave as a group. No man or woman left behind. You should know before you go anywhere. So what do I mean by that? Download the destination or the city map on your phone using Google Maps before you actually step foot at your destination. What I also mean by this is understand your route the night before. This will also help you understand the landmarks, anything that you can identify. That's what I did on my trip to Paris and Madrid and the UK. I Google mapped and street viewed everywhere I went, so when I popped up out of the metro, I can orient myself easily and then go straight to my destination without looking like a lost puppy out in the middle of the street. And with knowing before you go, have your tickets and your passes accessible and ready before you actually arrive at your destination. Don't wait until you get right up to the turnstile of a metro station to fumble through your bags and try to pull your pass out, and everything and money and cards and phones are falling out in the middle of everywhere. That's prime time for somebody to just pick it up and walk away and you not even know it because of the crowds. My next tip is to keep a proper paper trail. These are your records and copies of your important documents. When you're traveling abroad, make sure you carry with you at all times a copy of your passport and leave your actual passport in a secure location like a safe at a hotel. Make copies of your credit and debit cards with all of your relevant numbers and codes. And also make sure you have a copy of the international number for your credit or debit card vendors. That 1-800 number is not gonna work at all, y'all. Make sure your credit and debit cards as well as your passport are protected by RFID blocking sleeves. I did a whole video on gifts for travelers where I explained that. That'll be linked above or in the card down below. Also make sure you give copies of your itinerary to a trusted friend or family member who will have your back while you're traveling abroad. Aunt Edna might be the sweetest person in the world, but if you call Aunt Edna and she rarely responds to you, if an emergency pops up, she's not gonna respond to a random number. But those friends and family members who will actually not freak out as much and actually do everything they can to help you in the event that you're in an emergency, those are the people you want to give copies of your itinerary and information about where you're staying, what you're doing, all that stuff to them so that they have it in the event that you need them. I have a certain template that I use. If you're interested in that, just put a comment down below. Going right on this paper trail route, you also need the location and numbers of your nearest embassy for the country that you're coming from. In case anything goes down and your passport's lost or stolen, you will have to go to that embassy and request another. That's why the copies of your passport are helpful. In America, the US Department of State actually has a STEP traveler program where if you're traveling overseas, you enter the dates that you're going as well as the locations, and they will send you a text if anything pops off or if any type of unrest is going on to alert you to get to your nearest embassy so you can go home as safely as possible. So keep your paper trail strong, everybody. My 8th safety tip while traveling abroad is to don't tell your life story to everyone. Come on. You know, when you're traveling, I understand you're in a magical place, you're experiencing things for the first time, you feel vulnerable, you feel excited, and you see that there's other people who you don't even know who are going through the exact same experience as you, and you want to share and you want to connect, and that's all well and good, but be mindful of the type of information you're sharing. And if you find a traveler asking weird questions like your date of birth and your mother's maiden name and the country you're from and the state you're from and where you were born, you really don't have to answer them. And with this tip, make sure you're not under the influence while you're traveling abroad, because you're more likely to share this type of personal information and not even be aware of it. So if you find somebody asking a few too many questions for your likings, just flip it on them. I just say, where are you from? And what do you plan to do here? Oh, isn't this monument great? Look at how cool it is. I just keep it really general and redirect the conversation. That way I feel more comfortable and I'm not giving out too much information, but I'm still being friendly and not rude or standoffish. So what do you do when you have questions? I suggest, as a travel safety tip, to ask those questions to your hostel or your hotel staff. They are there to help you, they are friendly, they are knowledgeable, they are reliable, and guess what? Their job and the reputation of that establishment are on the line. Can you imagine how fast a place would be shut down if it was found out that they gave unreliable and all of your information to scammers or set you up in a bad situation? No, social media would blow that up and they would be done in an instant. But you can trust and rely on these people because that's their job. They're there to help you and they want good ratings. They want to help you because you in turn help them, and that business wheel keeps on turning. For instance, I didn't know where to eat one of my days when I was in Paris, so I asked the great concierge at the front desk, and they recommended a wonderful place about 2 blocks away. It was well lit, and I wouldn't have been there had it not been for their recommendation and suggestion. It was clean, it was safe, it was reasonably priced, it was really great. You can also just Google it. You know, when in doubt, Google it out. And just think, you Googled something to find this video, right? You asked it, and here I am delivering your answers. You can also get a copy of that hotel card and stick it with you. If you're lost anywhere, you can just present it to a taxi cab driver or an Uber driver, and they can take you back to your hotel as safely as possible. My final safety tip while traveling is to be confident. If you apply all of the tips that I just listed, then you have more reason to feel confident. Do not project fear. You've all been in that situation where you can sniff fear from a mile away. You can see somebody who clearly looks scared and their nerves have them so worked up that they're actually off guard. They might think that they're more on guard, but they're not. They're actually more vulnerable. So be confident. Know where you're going, make sure your cards and your information are protected, that you have copies and your paper trail, and you'll be just fine. So just relax, project confidence, and be cool and in control. So that's it. Those are my 10 tips while traveling abroad. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to share it with someone who's planning a trip abroad. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you found this video helpful. As I like to say, now that you know a few travel safety tips when traveling abroad, it's time to get excited about your trip, to go and frolic, have the courage to implement these safety tips, and go and have a confident, safe, and secure time while traveling abroad. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye!